Chapter 1560. Don't teach him. Let him learn on his own. The palace wasn't flying directly towards Divine City. It seemed to have a fixed route, circling around Divine City and gradually approaching. Lin Moyu's speed was still very fast, but the space-time distortion wasn't severe, and he could roughly see the full view of Divine City. This star domain had obvious signs of human activity. On the outermost edge, tens of billions of stars were densely arranged, forming the first line of defense for Divine City. Behind the stars, Lin Moyu saw a large number of warships, all at the God Sovereign level. Each warship, although not as powerful as a God Sovereign, could still contend with one when combined with an army. If hundreds of warships surrounded a God Sovereign, it wasn't impossible to kill one. Of course, this assumed the God Sovereign fought to the death and wasn't too strong. For a peak God Sovereign like Zhu Tian, sheer numbers wouldn't be enough to kill him. The warships formed the second line of defense. After that were the war god fortresses. These fortresses were mostly replicas, stronger than the warships but fewer in number. Even so, there were still millions of them, enough to make one's scalp tingle. The true strength of the human race was finally revealed, and Lin Moyu was amazed. He realized that the wars he had experienced before were child's play. At least 90% of the human race's strength was hidden within Divine City, never shown to the outside world. However, Lin Moyu also realized a possibility. If the human race could hide their strength like this, what about other races? The powerful races that once invaded the human race's territory and attacked Divine City, could their strength be any less? It seemed that no race was simple, and in the face of Beyond Realm experts, all the strength seemed insignificant. At the Beyond Realm level, numbers lost their meaning. If they were even stronger, a giant over 1,000 light-years tall could crush an entire star domain with a single slap. What meaning would numbers have then?
Supreme power! We still need supreme power!
On the other side of the palace, Su Laozu asked.
What did he say?
Su Laozu was asking about the Soul Fire rune. He had shared his findings with Hao Shengzuan. Hao Shengzuan said,
He doesn't understand runes, but he is very sensitive to them. What do you mean?
Su Laozu asked.
He said there's something wrong with the Soul Fire rune. Using Soul Fire to drive it might not be the correct method.
Hao Shengzuan conveyed Lin Moyu's feelings. Su Laozu Chamber.
He actually saw through it. Does he really not understand runes?
Hao Shengzuan shook his head.
He didn't lie. He truly doesn't understand.
Su Laozu Mumut.
He doesn't understand runes, yet he can see the problem within them. He has a natural sensitivity to runes.
His eyes shone brightly.
He's a genius in runes. I want to take him as a disciple and teach him ancient runes.
Hao Shengzuan waved his hand to stop Su Laozu.
No.
Su Laozu was puzzled.
Why not?
Hao Shengzuan said.
I told him that if he's interested in runes, he can study them on his own. You must not teach him.
Su Laozu's eyes widened.
Even though you are Shengzuan, you should be reasonable. Don't be anxious.
Hao Shengzuan said with a smile. A teacup flew into Su Laozu's hand, and the teapot automatically poured tea for him. Hao Shengzuan said slowly.
Do you think your research on ancient runes is absolutely correct?
Su Laozu's not?
Of course. Oh?
Hao Shengzuan smiled, looking at him. Su Laozu showed a hint of guilt.
90% of it is correct. A miss by a millimeter is as good as a mile.
Hao Shengzuan's voice softened, but Su Laozu couldn't refute it. Indeed, he had deep research into ancient runes. The Soul Fire rune was his creation, but his research might not be entirely correct. If he taught Lin Moyu and passed on incorrect ideas, it wouldn't be good. Hao Shengzuan said.
So let him study on his own and understand by himself. That's the best method.
Su Laozu was still a bit unwilling.
But this will waste a lot of time.
Hao Shengzuan smiled.
If there's a problem, more time will be wasted. If you want, you can give him your collection of ancient rune materials, but don't mix in your own thoughts.
Su Laozu knew he couldn't argue with Hao Shengzuan. After thinking for a long time, he finally sighed heavily.
All right, I understand. When he reaches the peak of the God-sovereign realm, I'll let him see those rune materials.
Ancient runes couldn't be studied casually. They required a certain realm. Without sufficient realm, even if one had some understanding, it would be vague and without foundation. In the field of ancient runes, Su Laozu had gone far. Although not entirely correct, his words were still authoritative. The realm was equivalent to the foundation of ancient runes. Without sufficient realm, it was useless to have a high-level understanding. Just like Lin Moyu, who, with his incredible sensitivity, discovered that the soul fire rune wasn't quite right. But he couldn't pinpoint the exact problem, and there were many things he couldn't understand. This was the gap in realm. Su Laozu thought for a moment.
Although I can't teach him runes, there are some things I need to tell him. Don't stop me.
Hao Shengzuan gestured.
As you wish.
Su Laozu drank the Dao tea in one gulp and walked towards Lin Moyu. With something on his mind, even the Dao tea didn't taste good. Su Laozu took 2 or 3 steps to reach Lin Moyu.
Lin Xiaoyu, I heard you're very interested in runes?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Senior, if I'm not mistaken, the soul fire rune in the competition was arranged by you, right?
Su Laozu was a bit surprised.
How did you know? I sense your aura in the rune.
Lin Moyu replied honestly. Su Laozu couldn't help but marvel.
You're really sensitive to this, being able to sense that.
The rune was indeed his creation, so he was most familiar with it. Lin Moyu's soul had reached the beyond realm. But not all beyond realm souls could sense his aura. Su Laozu continued.
Runes are a profound subject. You should know about the Great World Rune, right?
Lin Moyu nodded. Any cultivator would know about the Great World Rune. It was common knowledge. Mentioning the Great World Rune, Su Laozu's voice became low.
The Great World Rune is the foundation of our world, its root. No matter what spell or law, they all evolve from the Great World Rune. So studying runes is essentially studying the foundation of this world. If one day you can fully understand the Great World Rune, you might be able to control it and become the master of this world.
His low voice carried a hint of temptation, as if trying to spark Lin Moyu's interest in runes. Unfortunately, Lin Moyu wasn't tempted at all. His will was firm, not swayed by external influences. His interest in runes was purely self-motivated. In fact, Lin Moyu wanted to tell Su Laozu, "You don't need to say all this. Just get to the point." After a few seconds of pause, Su Laozu continued.
Runes are divided into 2 types. One is the common runes we use now, which are relatively simple and easy to understand. The other is ancient runes, which are much higher in level but very difficult to understand. If you want to learn ancient runes, the best way is to first master common runes and then move on to ancient runes. I have a collection of common rune materials here, which I'll give to you as a gift. When you reach the peak of the God-sovereign realm, I'll let you see the ancient rune materials.
1561, 1561. Chapter 1561. Lin Moyu's True Talent? Lin Moyu received a jade book, with a cover inscribed with large, flamboyant characters.
Fuyu.
The book,
Fuyu.
has about 100 pages, each made of extremely thin jade sheets. The jade sheets are specially treated, incredibly sturdy, and even a deity would find it difficult to destroy them. In terms of material alone, it surpasses the realm of deity-level materials. At least it is of the
Bien.
realm material extremely precious. A thought suddenly popped into Lin Moyu's mind. If he used it to summon an elemental lich, what level of elemental lich could he summon? This absurd thought flashed by and was immediately extinguished. If Lin Moyu dared to do this, Elder Su would surely kill him. He could see that this book,
Fuyu,
was very valuable. Elder Su stood by and advised.
Many of the runes in the book require a deity to learn and comprehend, especially those related to laws. Before you reach the deity realm, you should mainly understand the runes and have a clear understanding of them. As for some basic information about runes, you can check it yourself when you reach the Divine City.
Lin Moyu understood what he meant. The runes given to him were quite advanced. As for the basic knowledge, he had to learn and comprehend it himself. Lin Moyu bowed to Elder Su.
Thank you, Senior.
Elder Su nodded.
Take your time to study. Runes are a profound subject, and mastering them is more difficult than comprehending laws. Do not be impatient.
After saying this, he turned and left. Lin Moyu did not immediately check.
Fuyu.
Since he started his career in cultivation, he had not formally come into contact with runes. At the beginning, the runes he saw came from Meng Anwen. But that was because of Meng Anwen's profession. Meng Anwen was a formation master, and the runes he used were various formation symbols. Those runes were equivalent to his spells, not requiring deliberate comprehension and learning, and could not be taught to others. After arriving in the great world, he did see some runes, but they were scattered and not systematic. If he wanted to learn runes, the best way was to start from the basics and learn systematically. Lin Moyu did not know why, but he seemed to have a great interest in runes. After seeing the Soul Fire rune, he even felt a sense of familiarity, as if he had seen it somewhere before. From that moment, his curiosity about runes was ignited. He calmed his mind, emptied his thoughts, and unified his spirit and soul. Then he opened the Jade Book. On the first page of
Fuyu,
a rune was inscribed. The rune was not complicated, with only about 10 strokes, initially looking crooked and lacking beauty. The various runes he had seen before, even the lowest level ones, were far more beautiful. But after looking at it a few more times, he found that this rune had a peculiar charm. Although simple, it contained extremely profound principles. And the more he looked at it, the more obvious this feeling became. The rune no longer seemed ugly, becoming more and more beautiful. Lin Moyu's attention was unconsciously drawn to the rune. Then his soul power naturally moved, touching the rune. At that moment, the entire rune seemed to come alive, and Lin Moyu understood the true meaning of this rune. If described in the language of the great world, this rune had the meaning of
explanation.
It explained various information about runes, not basic knowledge, but told Lin Moyu how runes were classified and what their functions were. It was equivalent to the instruction manual for the entire book.
Fuyu.
The rune continued to resonate with his soul, transmitting a large amount of information. The first page of
Fuyu
began to glow. Not far away, at the tea table, Elder Lin smiled.
You are really willing to give him Fuyu. This is your hard work, and you just gave it to him?
Elder Su nodded.
This thing is indeed my hard work, but it is useless to me now. The young ones in the family are not promising and cannot understand the records inside.
Elder Lin was not surprised.
You know how difficult it is to resonate with ancient jade. Even you took a month to resonate with it before.
Elder Su nodded.
Indeed. I wonder how long it will take Lin Moyu to resonate with it.
Elder Lin was also shocked.
How could it be so fast?
Saint Hao, in his shock, showed a meaningful smile. He had high hopes for Lin Moyu, and Lin Moyu did not disappoint him.
Fuyu
is not a simple book. It is more like a magical treasure. To view its contents, one must resonate with it. This resonance is peculiar. It is not just about having a strong soul. Even Elder Su, with his
Bien
realm soul, took a full month to resonate with it. The shorter the resonance time, the stronger the talent in runes. Conversely, it indicates a lack of talent. Elder Su took a month, while Lin Moyu took less than 10 minutes. The gap between them is immeasurable. After a while, Elder Su murmured,
I am not qualified to teach him.
Saint Wu laughed.
You don't have to belittle yourself. In the great world, your research on ancient runes is undoubtedly the best.
Elder Su shook his head and smiled bitterly.
That is only temporary. He will soon surpass me.
Saint Hao said,
I have a way to keep you always first. What way?
Elder Su immediately asked.
Kill him.
Saint Wu pointed at Lin Moyu. Elder Su knew Saint Wu was joking and said angrily,
Even though you are a saint, if you joke like this, I will still turn against you.
Saint Hao laughed heartily.
You are too serious. It's good to joke occasionally.
Elder Su ignored him and looked at Lin Moyu in amazement.
He is simply born for runes.
Elder Lin suddenly thought of something and whispered,
If he can understand those ancient runes, can he unlock some secrets of ancient times?
Saint Wu, with a thoughtful look, said,
Maybe, maybe not. But it's still early. All this has to wait until he reaches the Bien realm.
Elder Lin laughed.
But no matter what, there is hope, right? Yes, at least there is hope.
At this moment, Lin Moyu resonated with
For you.
and a huge rune appeared before him, transmitting a large amount of information. This information seemed to open a new world for Lin Moyu. He learned the functions of runes and their general classification. Runes are the foundation of the Great World. All runes have a common source, the Great World runes. In this world, laws, power, realms, spells, and the operation of the entire world can be explained with runes. Learning and mastering runes is equivalent to mastering this world. And the ultimate goal is to control the Great World runes. 1562, 1562. Chapter 1562. Rune Classification, Power of the Other Shore. Lin Moyu quickly digested the knowledge brought by
For you.
in the book.
For you.
Runes are divided into 5 categories. The first is the most common basic type, which is the foundation of all runes and the most numerous. For example, using runes to outline a certain spell and casting it with the help of runes. The spell here does not necessarily have to be one you master. As long as you understand the principle of the spell, you can cast someone else's spell. However, without the corresponding laws, the power of the spell will be greatly reduced or have form without spirit. The second type is the law runes, which are a level higher than the spell runes. They represent a certain law, and when cultivated deeply, they can even manifest the law. Manifesting the law is useless to those at the other shore realm, but it is very useful to cultivators below the God Sovereign. If there is a manifested law as a reference, the speed of comprehending the law can be multiplied. The third type is the rule runes, which can be used to cast rules. Lin Moyu encountered the term
Rule.
for the first time and had never heard of it before.
What is a rule?
In
For you.
the level defined by rule runes is very high, even higher than law runes, indicating that rules are very powerful. The fourth type is the combination runes. The previous 3 types of runes are all single runes. Combination runes combine various runes for use, either to enhance the power of runes or to form rune arrays. Once combination runes are mastered, the role of runes is infinitely expanded. The 5th type is the creation runes. Among the 5 types of runes, this type is the highest level and the most difficult.
For you.
Does not provide a detailed explanation, only a definition. Lin Moyu guessed that the soul fire rune should belong to the creation runes. By using a large amount of soul fire, it grants wisdom to living beings. Isn't this a form of creation? But this is not true creation. In Lin Moyu's understanding, a true soul fire rune does not need external soul fire to directly grant wisdom to living beings. Elder Su's soul fire rune should have taken the wrong path. After a moment, Lin Moyu slowly opened his eyes. The information on the first page had been completely digested, and Lin Moyu had a systematic understanding of runes. The runes recorded in
For you.
are actually all low-level runes. The truly high-level runes are not recorded inside. Combining Elder Su's words, Lin Moyu knew that high-level runes could only be accessed at the peak of the God Sovereign realm. At this time, the palace was getting closer to the divine city, flying around it. It was estimated that in a moment, they would truly reach the divine city. Lin Moyu calculated that it would take about a day from their departure to reach the divine city. This was because the palace was fast enough. If it were an ordinary battleship, the time would be even longer. Not setting up a direct teleportation array to the Divine City had its own considerations. This way, if enemies wanted to attack the Divine City, they would have to fly over honestly. It was absolutely impossible to launch a surprise attack through teleportation. After digesting the knowledge of runes, Lin Moyu couldn't help but have a few questions. Just as he was about to ask, Saint Hao spoke first.
Lin Xiaoyu, now that you have some understanding of runes, tell us your thoughts.
Lin Moyu responded.
The way of runes is profound and vast. I have only scratched the surface and have no real insights.
Elder Su looked at Lin Moyu as if he were a rare treasure but pretended to be deep.
You have a strong understanding of runes and are very suitable for this path. In your future cultivation, you should devote some energy to runes. Understood.
Lin Moyu naturally understood this principle. Saint Hao said,
If you have any questions about runes, you can ask now.
Lin Moyu had been waiting for this and immediately asked,
Seniors, I want to ask in for you. Runes are divided into 5 categories, one of which is rules. I don't understand what rules are.
Saint Wu smiled and said to Elder Su,
You answer this question.
Elder Su did not refuse.
To understand rules, you must first understand what laws and spells are. Spells follow laws, and spells have varying strengths and different effects, but they cannot surpass the limits of laws. However, rules transcend the limits of laws. They are a higher level of existence. They can ignore laws, change laws, and even destroy laws.
From Elder Su's words, Lin Moyu felt the terror of rules. Ignoring laws, changing laws, and even destroying laws. What a terrifying power. At the same time, he thought, if such power exists, what is the point of comprehending and cultivating laws? Saint Hao smiled and said,
Don't overthink it. Rules are powerful, but they are not omnipotent. They require realm and one's own strength. To put it simply, rules are higher than laws and based on laws. If you haven't comprehended your own laws to the extreme, you can't evolve rules from them.
Saint Wu and Elder Su patiently explained to Lin Moyu what rules are. Simply put, rules are a higher form of laws and spells. The power of rules is something that only those at the other shore realm can control. They did not explain the specific process because Lin Moyu was far from that level. Even if his soul had reached it, it was useless. Saint Hao pointed to a distant galaxy and said,
That is an uninhabited galaxy. It operates according to established rules, with countless laws intertwined, maintaining the galaxy in an orderly manner. Now, I will make some changes to it.
Saint Hao raised his hand and casually grabbed at the uninhabited galaxy. The galaxy trembled, and all the stars began to rotate in reverse. The entire galaxy's trajectory changed. Lin Moyu was shocked. Destroying a galaxy is not difficult. Even he could easily do it. But to reverse the operation of an entire galaxy without harming any stars is as difficult as climbing to the sky. This is not something that can be done with sheer power. It requires truly changing the internal rules. Lin Moyu felt the changes in the galaxy and murmured,
Using the power of rules to forcibly change the established rules of the great world, changing part of the laws.
Saint Hao smiled slightly and withdrew his power. The galaxy trembled again, and the stars that were rotating in reverse slowly stopped and then began to return to their original operation. Saint Hao said,
The great world has established rules. On a large scale, I can only change a part of it, and it cannot last long. This is just the simplest application of rules. Using the power of rules can accomplish some incredible things.
Elder Lin said,
It is said that in ancient times, powerful beings could combine hundreds of galaxies and use them as weapons. They could also reverse refine laws, instantly refining thousands of stars into magical treasures. Rules are really a good thing, but they are too difficult.
1563, 1563. Chapter 1563. The first stop in the Divine City, Port Star. Lin Moyu witnessed the power of the other shore for the first time. His worldview was completely refreshed. His previous pride was nothing in the face of the power of the other shore. The power of the other shore is also known as the power of rules, which can redefine rules. Of course, it is not about defining rules at will but within one's own capabilities. If the power of rules collides, it depends on whose rules are stronger. However, the power of rules is still based on the power of laws. In the end, laws are still very important. Lin Moyu clearly realized the rigor of the cultivation system. One wrong step could lead to a series of mistakes. If one wants to go far, each step must be solid and steady. Any mistake could mean never reaching the peak. This is a rigorous world, and also a cruel one, allowing no room for error. The palace finally stopped. Time and space completely returned to normal, with even the slightest distortion disappearing. About 1,000,000 kilometers away from the palace, there was a giant star. Everyone who wants to enter the Divine City must first arrive here, complete the necessary procedures, and then teleport from here to the interior. This is the only entry point connecting the Divine City Star region with the outside world, known as Port Star. The first stop in the Divine City is this Port Star. Entering the Divine City from any other place would result in merciless attacks. Lin Moyu left the palace and headed alone to Port Star. On the way, he saw many warships coming and going, making Port Star very lively. It seemed to coincide with the Divine City's monthly open time, with warships continuously bringing human cultivators over. In fact, the number of people in the Divine City is very large, more than any of the 4 major star regions. Over tens of thousands of years, many who qualified to enter the Divine City settled down, establishing their own families and sections. This led to an increasing population in the Divine City. In Lin Moyu's view, the 4 major star regions are like the breeding grounds for the Divine City, continuously nurturing talents and sending them to the Divine City. After all, the Divine City is the strongest power of the human race and its foundation. As long as the Divine City remains intact, the human race will not perish. The great disaster of the past was because the allied forces of the 100 races broke into the Divine City, nearly causing the extinction of the human race. Lin Moyu transformed into a stream of light, approaching Port Star at a speed of 150,000 kilometers per second. When he was still 100,000 kilometers away from Port Star, his speed rapidly slowed down, from 150,000 kilometers per second to less than 1,000 kilometers per second. It wasn't that he wanted to slow down, but he had to. Port Star was enveloped by a special force, causing anyone or any warship approaching to slow down uniformly. In the past, Lin Moyu would have found this miraculous. But now, he understood that this force belonged to the other shore realm, the power of rules. Using the power of rules, the space near Port Star was forcibly altered. Anyone entering the area covered by the rules must act according to the corresponding rules, with flight speed being one of them. There might be other rules as well. Lin Moyu continued flying towards Port Star at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per second. When he was 10,000 kilometers away, a golden avenue shot out from Port Star, landing at his feet. At the same time, he found that he could only move along the golden avenue. Under the cover of the golden avenue, he couldn't move in any other direction, couldn't retreat, move left or right or stop. This was also the power of rules, invisible and intangible, yet real. This reminded Lin Moyu of the Golden Avenue in the Ring Mountain continent, which also seemed to contain the power of rules. Both were equally strong and domineering. Since he couldn't resist, he simply moved along the Golden Avenue. As he gradually approached Port Star, countless runes appeared before him when he was still 5,000 kilometers away. These runes were dazzling and beautiful, forming a huge array that enveloped Port Star. Lin Moyu admired these runes as if appreciating a work of art. These were combination runes, composed of countless exquisite runes. Each individual rune might be meaningless or might be an independent spell with its own function. But when combined, they had a new function. The array before him made Lin Moyu feel its power. He then passed through the rune array, feeling as if he had passed through an invisible membrane. He knew that at that moment, he had undergone a verification process. If he had the qualification to enter the Divine City, he would be allowed in. If not, he would be expelled. If someone tried to force their way in, the array would teach them a lesson. After passing through the array, Lin Moyu continued moving along the Golden Avenue. Numerous golden avenues appeared around him, each with a cultivator on it. Finally, he truly entered Port Star, and a huge square appeared before him. The square was circular, with a diameter of over 10,000 meters, surrounded by exquisite small houses, numbering in the thousands. People were constantly entering and leaving the houses. The ground of the square was paved with white jade, exuding a luxurious aura. Lin Moyu could feel that this white jade was extraordinary, not ordinary white jade, but material of the God King realm. Using God King realm materials to pave the ground was something only the Divine City could afford. Lin Moyu saw no fewer than 100 such squares. Many people stood in the square, just like him, having just arrived at Port Star. The difference was that he was visiting the Divine City for the first time, while many others were originally from the Divine City, returning after being outside. 10 seconds after stepping into the square, exactly 10 seconds, the voice of the Human Emperor Network sounded in his ear.
Please go to the small house for registration.
The small houses around the square were for registration. Whether it was the first time visiting the Divine City or returning residents, everyone had to first arrive at Port Star and then register in the small houses. Lin Moyu chose an empty small house and walked in. There was no one inside, only an array. Once he entered, the array activated, preventing anyone else from entering until he left. Following the Human Emperor Network's instructions, he stood in the center of the array, which registered his information. It was said that before the Human Emperor Network, enemies had once infiltrated and passed through undetected, eventually entering the Divine City. But since the Human Emperor Network, no one had successfully infiltrated. The presence of the Human Emperor Network was very strong here, far surpassing the 4 major star regions. It could be said that the entire Divine City star region was firmly under the control of the Human Emperor Network. Lin Moyu's information was quickly verified and registered, and the voice of the Human Emperor Network sounded again in the house.
Your information has been registered, and you have obtained the corresponding permissions. Since this is your first time in the Divine City, it is recommended that you first check the relevant information about the Divine City. Please abide by the rules in the Divine City. Any violations will be punished accordingly.
The voice of the Human Emperor Network was somewhat cold, and Lin Moyu knew that all first-time visitors to the Divine City would hear the same words. After leaving the small house, Lin Moyu immediately began to check the relevant information about the Divine City. Previously, he couldn't access this information, but now he could after completing the registration. The rigor of the Human Emperor Network was evident. Reading the information about the Divine City, he finally gained a deeper understanding of it. 1564, 1564. Chapter 1564. The first stop, 12998 star. The information about the Divine City mentioned many things that must be noted within the city. For example, no force can be used in the Divine City. If there are any grievances that need to be resolved, they can be settled in the arena. Whether it is a real arena or a virtual arena in the Human Emperor Network, both can be used. If you fight in the Divine City, the Human Emperor Network will teach you a lesson. Secondly, in the Divine City merits are very important, and many places require the consumption of Divine City merits. Leaving the Divine City requires the consumption of Divine City merits, but returning does not. Each time you leave the Divine City, it is equivalent to buying a round-trip ticket. The round-trip ticket is not cheap, costing 10 points of Divine City merits each time. If you do not have Divine City merits, you cannot leave. Whether leaving or returning, it is not possible to do so at any time. You need to wait for the open period, which is once a month, each time lasting 5 days. Only during these 5 days can the Divine City be entered or exited. At other times, the Divine City is in a closed state. Of course, in the Divine City, it is not only possible to use Divine City merits. Points earned from tasks outside can also be used. Points are sufficient for daily needs, but some special places require Divine City merits. For most people, Divine City merits are to be saved as much as possible because they are very difficult to earn. Lin Moyu currently has 300 points of Divine City merits, which is already a considerable wealth for most people. Divine City merits can be used for upgrades and to purchase many necessities. Whether for survival or cultivation, they are very useful. Unlike military merits, losing Divine City merits does not affect one's level. In the Divine City, levels are very important, as they basically determine where you can go and what you can do. The entire Divine City Star region is divided into 5 layers from the outside to the inside. The outer layer, the primary layer, the intermediate layer, the advanced layer, and the core area. Outer layer personnel can only operate in the outermost area, and each area corresponds to a specific level. As for the core area, it requires surpassing the advanced level to enter. It is said that besides the level requirement, there are other requirements to enter the core area, which most people do not even know. To upgrade from outer layer personnel to primary personnel, you need to have 100 points of Divine City merits and complete an upgrade task. To upgrade from primary personnel to intermediate personnel, you need 10,000 points of Divine City merits. Given the difficulty of obtaining Divine City merits, 10,000 points are not easy to come by. Lin Moyu is currently a primary personnel and has 300 points of Divine City merits, which is already a higher starting point than many people. He can operate in both the outer and primary areas. According to the information, these 2 areas together only occupy about 1/5 of the Divine City Star region. The higher the level of the area, the more expansive the space. Lin Moyu felt a strange sense of familiarity with this structure, similar to the ancient battlefield in the Small World and the Vermilion Bird battlefield. It seemed as if the world was like a ring, with one ring nested within another. This strange feeling was very peculiar.
I wonder if there are similar places in other small worlds. It's really strange.
Lin Moyu couldn't figure it out for the moment and could only consider it a coincidence. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry to go to the Divine City. He temporarily stayed at Port Star to learn more about the Divine City. Being new, he naturally needed to understand the situation before taking action. Port Star was bustling with people coming and going. For days later, everyone on Port Star received a message from the Human Emperor Network.
Port Star will close in 1 day. Please leave Port Star within 1 day.
This message was delivered directly to everyone's soul world, so even if you were asleep, you could hear it. Lin Moyu, who was checking the information, was also awakened. Over the past few days, he had reviewed a large amount of information about the Divine City, almost exhausting all the free information available at his level.
Then let's go here.
With a plan in mind, Lin Moyu went to a corner of the square where there were many teleportation arrays that could take him to various areas of the Divine City. The teleportation arrays were free to use as long as you met the level requirements. Only through the teleportation arrays at Port Star could one truly enter the Divine City. Based on the information he had read over the past few days, Lin Moyu chose a life star in the primary area. This life star was numbered
Primary 12,998 to 1.
Within the Divine City, it was located in the 12,998th life star system in the primary area. There were over 100,000 life star systems in the entire primary area. The numbering of stars in the Divine City followed its own rules. Within the same area, the lower the star system number, the lower the danger level. This danger level was determined by the tasks within the star system. In the Divine City, each star system had different tasks, and you could only know what tasks were available once you arrived at that star system. Teleportation between star systems within the Divine City required the consumption of Divine City merits, with each teleportation costing 1 point of merit. Therefore, for all newcomers to the Divine City, the first choice was particularly important. Su Jianqing had mentioned this to Lin Moyu before, advising him not to choose randomly. Most people would choose a low-numbered star system within their level as their first stop. Based on his strength, Lin Moyu chose the 12998 star system and directly entered its number 1 star. The Divine City was so vast that the teleportation took half a day to complete. The teleportation process was not fast, seemingly due to some special reasons, as the teleportation speed within the Divine City star region could not be too fast. Lin Moyu speculated that it might be related to the numerous secret realms scattered throughout the star region. Notably, this teleportation did not involve any intermediate stops. During the entire teleportation process, Lin Moyu felt as if he was enveloped by the power of the Human Emperor Network. The Human Emperor Network was extremely powerful here, easily interfering with reality. The overall structure of the 12998 star system was similar to the life star systems in the 4 major star regions, consisting of 3 life stars and 9 resource stars, accompanied by 2 stars. The 2 stars operated very stably, providing the light and heat needed by the human race for the entire star system. The life star systems in the Great World generally followed this structure, with little variation. Lin Moyu stepped out of the teleportation array, accompanied by several others who had also completed the teleportation from Port Star.
Such obvious laws.
Upon leaving the teleportation array, Lin Moyu's first impression was the obviousness of the laws. Comprehending laws here was much easier than in the 4 major star regions or battlefields. It was evident that the cultivation speed here would be very fast. However, the obviousness of the laws also had its drawbacks, because not just one type of law was obvious, but all laws were very apparent. For someone just starting to cultivate, who generally comprehends only 1 or 2 laws, the abundance of laws could be distracting. This might slow down the cultivation speed somewhat, but overall it was still better than the 4 major star regions. As Lin Moyu was about to observe the star, he suddenly heard an exclamation from not far away.
Lin Moyu! It's really you! You came to the Divine City!
Lin Moyu was a bit stunned, as he did not seem to know this girl. 1565 Chapter 1565 Becoming Siblings with Chu Xiong. Lin Moyu felt that calling her
sister
seemed somewhat inappropriate. Her cultivation level was higher than his, and she was taller than him. It was rare to see such a tall female cultivator. Lin Moyu estimated that she was probably over 2 meters tall. She had a well-proportioned figure. Although she was very tall, she did not give off a burly impression. Instead, she was somewhat stunning. Her name was Mu Xiaogu, and she was at the 8th level of the God King realm. This information was provided by the Human Emperor Network, and Mu Xiaogu did not hide her information.
Her name doesn't quite match her appearance.
Lin Moyu muttered to himself and then said,
Senior Sister Mu, is there something you need?
Mu Xiaogu was very straightforward.
Nothing much. I saw your match during the 4-star region competition. Your performance was amazing. At that time, I thought you would take first place, and it turns out I was right. By the way, can you give me your autograph? I can show it off to my friends when I go back.
This senior sister Mu Xiaogu seemed a bit too straightforward, even more so than Chu Xiong. Lin Moyu smiled.
I was just lucky. There's no need for an autograph.
Mu Xiaogu suddenly exclaimed.
How can you be so modest? You took first place. It can't just be luck. The first place in the 4-star region competition is always a genius. Once they enter the Divine City 060, as long as they don't die, they all become big figures, at least high-level god sovereigns. When you become a high-level god sovereign in the future, your autograph will be in high demand. No, you must give me an autograph now, while you're not that famous yet. Otherwise, I won't be able to find you later.
Lin Moyu couldn't refuse her enthusiasm and finally agreed. The autograph Mu Xiaogu mentioned wasn't just signing his name with a pen. There was a special jade token where one could leave a soul imprint. This imprint would form the corresponding name on the jade token, and it would be permanent and unchangeable. Moreover, because the autograph was done with soul power, it couldn't be faked. To verify its authenticity, one could simply ask the Human Emperor Network. Since the jade token was produced by the Human Emperor Network, it cost 1 point of Divine City merit. After Lin Moyu left his autograph, Mu Xiaogu screamed with excitement.
Great, I can make those guys envious when I go back. Junior brother Lin, thank you so much this time. I'm from the Mu family in this star system. If you need anything, just come to me.
The Divine City is different from the 4-star regions. In many star systems, there are local family sections. They often control most of the resources in their star system and manage the entire star system. Of course, they can't act recklessly because the Human Emperor Network is watching, and they can't get away with any small tricks. The City Lord of the Divine City is like the Emperor, and the Human Emperor Network is like the ministers, helping the City Lord manage the entire Divine City. The families and sects in each star system are like local officials. The Mu family is the
parent official
of the 12998 star system, managing most of the resources in this star system. Since Mu Xiaogu offered, Lin Moyu didn't hesitate. As a newcomer, having a local guide was naturally better than exploring on his own. Given Mu Xiaogu's straightforward personality, Lin Moyu directly said,
"Senior Sister Mu, could you introduce me to the situation in this star system?"
As expected, Mu Xiaogu patted her chest.
"No problem, leave it to me."
She then began to introduce the star system to Lin Moyu.
Mu Xiaogu spoke excitedly.
"Our star system is numbered 12998, which is a low-numbered star system. This means the task difficulty and danger level are low, but the task rewards are also lower. Actually, with your strength, you could choose a higher-numbered star system. Previous first-place winners in the 4-star region competition usually choose star systems numbered above 50,000. But your choice is also correct. Safety first."
As she spoke, she patted Lin Moyu's shoulder. Her mannerisms were not like a girl's at all, even more straightforward than Chu Xiong. Lin Moyu thought that if she met Chu Xiong, they would definitely become good brothers. Opposite-sex brothers. Suddenly, Mu Xiaogu stopped and muttered,
"No, no, no."
Lin Moyu found it strange.
"What's wrong?"
Mu Xiaogu exclaimed, her eyes widening.
"You're not right. Why are you in the primary area? Shouldn't you be in the outer area?"
It turned out that the star systems numbered above 50,000 were all in the outer area. Lin Moyu asked curiously,
"Weren't the previous 4-star region competition winners in the primary area?"
Mu Xiaogu shook her head.
"Of course not. The primary area is not that easy to get into. Even if they have enough merits, they still need to complete a promotion task. Without completing the promotion task, how could they upgrade to the primary area?"
Lin Moyu realized what was wrong. He hadn't completed any primary tasks but had directly reached the primary level. Mu Xiaogu stared at Lin Moyu.
"Did you complete a promotion task?"
Lin Moyu shook his head decisively. He hadn't done any. His primary level was determined by the Human Emperor Network, and at that time, he didn't know what the primary level represented. He also didn't know that upgrading in the Divine City was so difficult. Mu Xiaogu couldn't figure out why, but her straightforward personality took over, and she decided not to think about it. She put her doubts aside and continued to introduce the star system to Lin Moyu. The tasks in a star system are generally around the star system. There are many secret realms around the star system, said to be left from ancient times. Some secret realms are dangerous, while others are safe, corresponding to various tasks. However, in low-numbered star systems, the surrounding secret realms are generally safe. If a secret realm is found to be too dangerous, the Human Emperor Network will intervene. As Lin Moyu initially thought, many people in the Divine City are like flowers grown in a greenhouse. They are well protected by the Human Emperor Network. Another difference between the Divine City and the 4-star regions is that there is no task center or trading center here. To take on tasks, you directly communicate with the Human Emperor Network. Because the Human Emperor Network's power is so strong here, interfering with reality is not difficult, so there is no need for a task center. As for the trading center, if you find something in a secret realm, you can directly trade with the Human Emperor Network for Divine City merits. You can also sell to other cultivators for Divine City merits. If you want to sell to a trading center, that's also possible, but the Human Emperor Network will act as an intermediary. However, doing so will earn you points, not Divine City merits. In the Divine City, no one would be foolish enough to do that. The purpose of doing tasks in the Divine City is to earn Divine City merits. If you need points, you can earn them outside the Divine City. The Life Stars have many living facilities. There are restaurants and many places for relaxation. Compared to the 4-star regions, life here is more comfortable. The Divine City is not only a holy place for cultivation but also a good place to live. However, according to Mu Xiaogu, those relaxation places were originally set up for cultivators returning from secret realms. It seems that there is a strange power in the secret realms that affects people's spirits. After returning, everyone becomes very tense and needs to relax. These things, Lin Moyu would have to experience himself by taking on tasks and entering secret realms. 1566 Chapter 1566. Do beings of the other shore also need the power of belief? As the managers of the star system, the Mu family usually kept a low profile. With the human emperor network watching over them, they couldn't do anything against the rules. Even though they controlled a large amount of resources, they had to distribute them as fairly and justly as possible. Taking small advantages was acceptable, but if they went too far, the human emperor network wouldn't be fooled. Mu Xiaogu returned to the Mu family without any restraint. As the eldest daughter of the Mu family, she was like a princess, and no one dared to stop her. Mu Shuwen, the head of the Mu family, had her late in life and spoiled her immensely. In the entire family, Mu Xiaogu's words carried more weight than his. When Mu Shuwen saw Mu Xiaogu, his face lit up with a smile.
Xiaogu, you're back. Let your father give you a hug.
Mu Shiyuan was even taller than Mu Xiaogu with a robust build, a true strongman. Seeing him, it was clear why Mu Xiaogu was so tall. Mu Xiaogu deftly avoided Mu Shiyuan's hug and said with a grin,
Dad, guess who I met?
Mu Shuyuan smiled.
How could I guess that?
Mu Xiaogu didn't keep him in suspense.
I met Lin Moyu.
Mu Shiyuan thought for a moment but couldn't recall who Lin Moyu was. The name sounded familiar, as if he had heard it recently.
Lin Moyu is the first place winner of this 4-star region competition.
Mu Xiaogu exclaimed.
Mu Shiyuan finally remembered.
Oh, it's him. He came to our star system?
Mu Xiaogu nodded vigorously.
Yes, I met him at the teleportation array and even got his autograph.
Mu Shuyuan frowned.
That's odd. How could he come here? How did he get to the primary level so quickly?
Mu Xiaogu also found it strange.
I thought it was odd too. He said that before the 4-star region competition, he had already qualified to enter the Divine City and directly obtained the primary level. At that time, he didn't even have any Divine City merits. It seems that after completing the second chain task, he directly obtained the primary level status.
Mu Shiyuan's face changed upon hearing this. Mu Xiaogu didn't understand, but Mu Shiyuan did. He knew very well what this implied. Over the years, there had been people who could enter the Divine City after completing the second chain task, though not many. But those who could directly obtain the primary level status were very few. Even if there were, they still needed to complete a promotion task. The only possibility for someone to directly obtain the primary level status and skip the promotion task was if a being of the other shore intervened. This meant that behind Lin Moyu stood a being of the other shore. What was the relationship between this being of the other shore and Lin Moyu? Was it a family elder or simply someone who favored Lin Moyu? Mu Shiyuan racked his brains but couldn't think of any being of the other shore with the surname Lin.
Dad, what are you thinking about?
Mu Xiaogu asked curiously. Mu Shiyuan, like Mu Xiaogu, chose not to think about it when he couldn't figure it out. He looked at his daughter.
Xiaogu, what do you think of Lin Moyu?
Mu Xiaogu didn't understand her father's intention and instinctively replied,
He's very nice, very kind, and easy to talk to.
Mu Xiyuan smile widened.
Xiaogu, you're not young anymore. How about? Stop right there. That's my business, don't interfere.
Mu Xiaogu interrupted him, not giving him a chance to continue. Mu Shiyuan looked helpless. He knew his daughter well and knew that this was not something he could force. Mu Shiyuan's eyes twinkled as he came up with another idea.
Xiaogu, then you should maintain a good relationship with Lin Moyu. See if he needs anything, and if we can help, the Mu family will do its best.
Mu Xiaogu rolled her eyes at Mu Shiyuan. She wasn't stupid and knew exactly what her father was thinking. Lin Moyu walked down the street, which looked no different from the life-star systems in the 4-star regions on the surface. The people coming and going were all human. However, the people here were generally much stronger. Although god kings weren't everywhere, they were not uncommon. And this was just a low-numbered star system in the primary area. In the intermediate and advanced areas, there would be even more powerful beings. Moreover, Lin Moyu knew that each area had a main star system. To complete promotion tasks, one had to go to the main star system. It was said that the main star system was the most prosperous place. As he walked down the street, the buildings on both sides slowly receded. Lin Moyu walked slowly. He didn't immediately take on any tasks. He was still feeling the differences between the Divine City and the outer star regions. His soul opened its eyes and saw the lines of laws again. The lines of laws here were very thick and clear, far surpassing those in the outer regions. But unfortunately, there were still no first-tier law lines. The second-tier law lines were also incomplete, not much different from the outer regions. They were just thicker and more obvious, speeding up cultivation but also causing interference. There were gains and losses. A singing voice came to his ears, grand and unified. Lin Moyu stopped and saw a special building. The building was tower-shaped, with 6 floors, about 100 meters high. The singing came from inside. The entire tower was enveloped by a strong power of belief, and a strong power of belief shot out from the top of the tower, heading to a distant place.
A tower of belief!
Mu Xiaogu had mentioned that on the various stars in the Divine City star region, there were buildings called Towers of Belief. And there were many of them. On the star he was on, with a population of over 1 billion, there were thousands of Towers of Belief. The purpose of the Towers of Belief was to provide the power of belief. Lin Moyu walked in without being stopped. The Tower of Belief was an open area, and anyone could enter. The singing became clearer, but the words were still indistinguishable. Upon closer listening, it seemed more like chanting than singing, but the content of the chant was still unclear. More strangely, inside the Tower of Belief, Lin Moyu saw people sitting. They were all sitting with their hands in a specific gesture, eyes closed. Their expressions were very devout, but they were all silent, not making any sound. Yet the singing or chanting was real. Lin Moyu looked up and saw a formation operating at the top of the tower. After watching for a while, Lin Moyu understood the source of the singing. The formation absorbed a large amount of the power of belief and then transformed it into the peculiar singing. The singing brought peace, calmed the mind, and removed distractions, making people more devout. Thus, the transformed power of belief became purer. Lin Moyu, who already possessed a strong power of belief, was very sensitive to this. Opposite the people, a 50-meter-tall statue stood. This was the recipient of the power of belief. The statue was lifelike, and Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh when he saw it. The statue was of the ancestor of the Su family. It turned out that the power of belief here was supplied to the ancestor of the Su family. From this, it could be inferred that the countless towers of belief on various stars were all gathering the power of belief for beings of the other shore.
Do beings of the other shore also need the power of belief? It seems that the power of belief is far more significant than I imagined. To become one of the fundamental forces of the human race, the power of belief must have extraordinary properties. It seems I need to find time to study the power of belief thoroughly.
He had several pieces of information about the power of belief and needed to find time to study them carefully. Besides the power of belief, he also needed to study runes. Time was running short. At this moment, he received a reminder from the Human Emperor Network that someone was looking for him. 1567, 1567. Chapter 1567. Information in the Guanxi Hall. The Human Emperor Network prompt sounded.
Mu Xiaogu has requested to share her location with you. Do you agree?
Lin Moyu didn't expect the human emperor network to have such a function. It seemed he still knew too little about it. There were many features in the human emperor network that he hadn't figured out yet. He had added Mu Xiaogu as a friend earlier, and she had come to find him so quickly.
She must have something important.
Lin Moyu thought and chose to agree. In the next second, a virtual map appeared before his eyes, visible only to him. The map marked the locations of both him and Mu Xiaogu, and the distance between them was not far. Mu Xiaogu was approaching quickly, and the distance between them was rapidly shrinking. By the time Lin Moyu walked out of the Tower of Belief, Mu Xiaogu had already arrived at the entrance. She had changed her clothes, looking less professional and more feminine. However, given her height, this femininity was somewhat diminished. Mu Xiaogu waved at Lin Moyu, looking very happy. Lin Moyu asked,
Senior Sister Mu, is there something you need?
Mu Xiaogu smiled brightly.
I think my previous introduction wasn't detailed enough. There are a few more places I want to show you. These are unique to the Divine City. They are rare in the outside world.
Lin Moyu didn't hesitate.
Then I'll trouble you, Senior Sister Mu.
Mu Xiaogu waved her hand.
No trouble at all. It's my duty, after all. This is my territory.
She pointed to the Tower of Belief behind Lin Moyu.
First of all, this Tower of Belief is not found in the outside world, but it's common in the Divine City.
Lin Moyu nodded slightly, acknowledging the truth of her statement. Mu Xiaogu continued.
The Tower of Belief collects the power of belief. My father said that the power of belief is for some important figures, but he wouldn't say who exactly. He said I'm not at a high enough level to know.
Mu Xiaogu spread her hands, looking helpless. Lin Moyu realized that information gaps exist everywhere. The existence of the other shore realm is not known to everyone. Saint Hao had said that this was to maintain a sense of mystery. When one's realm reaches a certain level, they will naturally know. At this moment, Mu Xiaogu was already walking ahead, talking as she walked.
There's nothing much to see in the Tower of Belief. Let me show you something else. Have you been to a trading center in the outside world?
She suddenly lowered her voice.
Do you know who controls the trading centers?
Lin Moyu imitated her and whispered.
The Yu family?
Mu Xiaogu clapped her hands.
That's right, it's the Yu family. In the Divine City, the Yu family in the core area is a very remarkable family. They control the trading centers of the 4 major star regions, and even some resources in the Divine City are under their control.
In Mu Xiaogu's words, the Yu family was a very remarkable family, with many god sovereigns and even beings beyond the god sovereign realm. Moreover, the Yu family lived in the core area, the true holy land of the Divine City. Compared to the Yu family, the Mu family was like heaven and earth. In the Mu family, there were only 2 god sovereigns. Mu Xiaogu's father was a 7th level god sovereign, and there was also an uncle who was only a 3rd level god sovereign. Although the Mu family's strength didn't seem impressive, it was actually not weak. In today's era, a god sovereign was considered a strong person. A family with 2 god sovereigns, one of whom was a high-level god sovereign, was naturally not weak. If extended further, in the lower star regions of the Divine City, there were tens of thousands of life star systems, each with a family similar to or stronger than the Mu family. That meant there were hundreds of thousands of god sovereigns. Including the middle, high, and core areas, the number of god sovereigns had to be counted in millions. This was the true strength of the human race. If a real war broke out, millions of god sovereigns would go to the battlefield, and even beings of the other shore would have to retreat. Yet, the human race continued to strengthen itself, indicating that the other powerful races also had unimaginable foundations. Each race had its own trump cards and was not to be trifled with. The 2 arrived in front of a triangular building with 2 large red pillars at the entrance, each engraved with 2 huge runes. One rune resembled an eye, and the other an ear. Mu Xiaogu introduced.
This is the Guanchi Hall, managed by the Su family in the core area. The Su family, like the Yu family, is a remarkable family, but they mainly deal in information trading. I heard that the Su family and the Yu family have long-term cooperation.
Information trading was essentially intelligence trading. The Yu family had its own intelligence channels, but the Su families were evidently more professional. Even the Yu family had to cooperate with the Su family. Guanshi Hall, meaning
Observing the world.
showed the Su family's ambition. Mu Xiaogu led Lin Moyu into the Guanshi Hall, explaining as they walked.
The Guanshi Hall has branches in the main star systems of the 4 major star regions. I don't know if you've been to one.
Lin Moyu shook his head. He hadn't even been to the main star systems, let alone the Guanshi Hall. Mu Xiaogu introduced the specific functions of the Guanshi Hall. In the Guanshi Hall, one could view various information. Not only was there information about the human race, but also a lot of information about other races. Lin Moyu didn't know where the Su family got this information, but the fact that they could obtain it showed how remarkable they were. The information here was diverse, ranging from major events like wars between 2 races to minor internal conflicts within a race, and even trivial matters. Some unimportant information was free, while important information required payment. The payment method was unique. They would first show a description of the information, and if you wanted to see the full content, you had to pay. For example, a piece of information might say,
The Golden Eagle clan discovered a secret realm and had a conflict with the Demon clan.
This was just a title. If you wanted to see the detailed information, you had to pay. In the Guanshi Hall, you could use points or Divine City merits with a conversion rate of about 1 to 10,000. 1 point of Divine City merit was worth 10,000 points.
Mu Xiaogu explained.
There is a lot of information here. You can look around, but many of them have nothing to do with us, so don't pay too much attention.
Lin Moyu started browsing with a casual attitude, but suddenly, he saw a piece of information that caught his eye.
A plant-type star beast is approaching the human star region.
Just seeing the title, Lin Moyu thought of the star tree that had once conflicted with him. The star tree had once threatened to kill him, but he had forgotten about it after entering the great world. Seeing this news brought back memories.
Could it be that tree?
Lin Moyu wanted to see the full information. It wasn't cheap, costing 10,000 points or 1 point of Divine City merit. Lin Moyu, being wealthy, directly spent 10,000 points to buy the information. The full information appeared before him, not only in text but also with images. A gigantic star tree was flying through the vast starry sky, heading towards the human space. Its size was comparable to a star system. Lin Moyu trembled all over, his eyes showing shock.
It's really him.
1568 1568. Chapter 1568. Hurry up. Don't force this mist to take action. The enormous figure, comparable to a galaxy, had lush roots, each one extremely thick. Lin Moyu could see light emanating from within the roots, which was a star being enveloped by the giant star tree. The star tree was devouring the star's energy, absorbing its power for itself. Below the image was a lengthy text description. The information was from 5 days ago. 5 days ago, a star tree was discovered heading towards the human star region. It was about 100,000 light-years away from the human star region at that time. At its current speed, it would reach the human star region in about 10 years. The information did not mention its realm strength, but Lin Moyu knew that its strength would not be lower than the other shore realm. Antares had said that he and the star tree were about the same. The star tree dared to come and snatch Antares' dragon pearl, so it must have some confidence. The human race's power in the 4 major star regions naturally could not stop it. Only a strong person at the other shore realm could possibly intercept it. However, the star tree, being a plant-type star beast, was known for its extremely strong vitality and was very difficult to deal with. If the human race sent only one other shore realm expert, it might not be enough. Moreover, Lin Moyu knew that the star tree possessed space laws, making it very difficult to kill. Even if it couldn't win, it could use space laws to retreat calmly. But why didn't it use space laws to teleport directly? Lin Moyu couldn't understand this point. Lin Moyu suddenly laughed at himself.
Why think so much? If the sky falls, there will be tall people to hold it up. If the human race really has a problem, naturally, the other shore realm experts will take action. What does it have to do with me?
Lin Moyu closed the information panel, and Mu Xiaogu's beautiful face appeared in his sight. Mu Xiaogu was waving her hand in front of him.
What did you see?
Lin Moyu smiled.
There were a few interesting pieces of information, so I looked at them for a while.
Mu Xiaogu looked justified.
I told you, the information in the Guanxi Hall is very interesting. We often come to check it out. If we don't look for a while, we even feel disconnected from the world.
Lin Moyu now understood how the people in the Divine City obtained information about the outside world. Besides leaving the Divine City for training, they relied on the Guanxi Hall. Mu Xiaogu said,
Come on, I'll take you to another place.
She then led Lin Moyu to a tea house opposite the Guanxi Hall. The tea house was built in an open style, so even standing outside, one could see the inside. A plaque hung above the tea house, inscribed with the 3 characters.
Tea Friend's Residence.
The entire tea house had an ancient and elegant architectural style, full of charm. Many people were already sitting inside, seemingly discussing something. The fragrance of tea wafted through the air, indicating that good tea was being brewed. Mu Xiaogu was obviously a regular here and quickly found a seat, shouting loudly.
The usual.
As the eldest daughter of the Mu family, her status was not low. When she entered the tea house, many people's eyes focused on her. At the same time, some eyes also focused on Lin Moyu. Mu Xiaogu said,
Guess what this place is for?
Lin Moyu didn't think much.
It should be a place for discussion, right?
Mu Xiaogu slapped the table.
Smart, you guessed it right. Actually, besides discussing information, people here also exchange cultivation insights and task information. Sometimes, they even conduct private transactions. In short, it's a place for mutual exchange.
In the Guanxi Hall, you can see what has happened recently among the human race. Then, in the tea house, people discuss, exchange opinions, and share information. This is a good method. The human race needs powerful cultivators, but it also needs smart ones. Such mutual discussions can broaden horizons, open up ideas, and benefit cultivation. Lin Moyu's soul was extremely sensitive. If he wanted to listen, he could hear their discussions even if they used soul transmission. Before entering, Lin Moyu had already heard their discussions, which were mostly about recent events among the human race. In the tea house, Mu Xiaogu continued to talk to Lin Moyu about various things in the Divine City. Lin Moyu also listened to the discussions around him. The most discussed topics were the actions of the human race. The great world was not peaceful. Wars were always happening. Even if there were no major wars, there would be friction between races. However, for ordinary people, many small-scale wars were unknown. But in the Divine City, because of the Guanxi Hall, even small-scale wars were known. The people in the Divine City seemed to have developed a habit of discussing the changes in the human race through these events. Of course, many discussions were meaningless. Most of the people in the tea house were god kings. Their vision was not broad enough to make accurate judgments. Lin Moyu listened for a while and then lost interest. He drank his tea and said,
Senior Sister Mu, I have a certain understanding of the Divine City now. I want to try doing a task.
Mu Xiaogu said,
Then you must be careful. Many secret realms are very dangerous. After accepting a task, you must be well prepared.
Lin Moyu raised his teacup.
Thank you, Senior Sister Mu, for your guidance. I toast you with this cup of tea.
Mu Xiaogu also raised her teacup generously.
Then I wish Junior Brother Lin success in your task. When you complete your task, come to my Mu family. We will drink and eat meat together.
Mu Xiaogu's bright smile was like blooming flowers, making people feel refreshed. Her words sounded a bit rough, but coming from her mouth, they felt very natural. At this moment, a low voice came from the side.
A mere 4th-level God King wants to do a task in a secret realm? Is he seeking death?
The voice was low, and its owner was a handsome young man. Mu Xiaogu glared at him.
Qiu Ji, I haven't seen you for more than a year, and your mouth is still so foul.
Kviui chuckled.
Senior Sister Mu, I'm just telling the truth. He's only a 4th level God King. Going into a secret realm is no different from seeking death.
Mu Xiaogu snorted.
You know nothing. Junior brother Lin's strength cannot be measured by his realm.
Lin Moyu could tell that although Choji's words were harsh, they were not malicious. On the contrary, he was genuinely reminding him that his realm was not enough and that going into a secret realm was dangerous. Choji glanced at Lin Moyu and said casually,
Your name is Lin Moyu? You have the same name as the first-place winner of the 4-star region competition. For Senior Sister Mu's sake, I advise you not to seek death.
Mu Xiaogu's eyes turned suspicious.
I remember you haven't been to a secret realm. How do you know so much?
Kviui smiled bitterly.
I had a brain cramp and went there recently. I almost died inside.
Choji was a 7th level God King and almost died inside. If a 4th level God King went in, he would surely die in Choji's eyes.
Mu Xiaogu snorted.
So you did go in. Hand over the information. Don't say you don't have it. With your personality, I don't believe you didn't leave any information. Hurry up, don't force this miss to take action.
Mu Xiaogu was straightforward and unceremonious. Choji's face turned even more bitter.
I knew I shouldn't have spoken.
But he still took out a jade token and threw it to Mu Xiaogu.
This is some information I got in the secret realm. I don't care if it's accurate, it's just my experience.
Mu Xiaogu took the jade token.
Smart move.
She handed the jade token to Lin Moyu.
Take a look before you go, just in case.
1569, 1569. Chapter 1569. Divine City Task. Exploring the Poison Bee Secret Realm. Whether Choji was willing or not, he handed over the information. On the surface, it seemed that Mu Xiaogu forced him to hand it over. In reality, Lin Moyu had already noticed that Choji gave it willingly. If he didn't want to give it, he wouldn't have spoken up at all. It was precisely because he heard that Lin Moyu was going to the secret realm and that he was Mu Xiaogu's friend that he deliberately spoke up. Moreover, Lin Moyu could sense that Choji looked at Mu Xiaogu differently. It was clear that he liked her. When Lin Moyu and Mu Xiaogu entered the tea house together, he felt a sense of hostility from Choji. This hostility disappeared after he heard their conversation. However, Mu Xiaogu, being straightforward, didn't seem to notice Choji's feelings. Lin Moyu took the jade token and thanked Choji.
Thank you, Senior Brother Chio.
Regardless of its usefulness, it was something Choji risked his life to obtain. Choji waved his hand.
No problem, just don't die in there for Senior Sister Mu's sake. You have such a foul mouth.
Mu Xiaogu glared at Choji, looking displeased. Choji smiled and didn't argue back. He wasn't angry at all. Lin Moyu naturally understood that Choji was deliberately saying this. Since he couldn't leave a good impression, he might as well deepen the bad one. The principle was simple. Keep deepening the impression. Sometimes this roundabout tactic worked well. Mu Xiaogu said to Lin Moyu,
Don't mind him. Look at the information before you go to the secret realm. Safety first.
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Senior Sister Mu, actually, Senior Brother Chio is a good person.
Mu Xiaogu rolled her eyes at Choji.
With that foul mouth of his, how is he good?
Lin Moyu said,
Senior Sister, think about it. No matter what you say to Senior Brother Chio, has he ever gotten angry?
Mu Xiaogu tilted her head and thought for a moment, murmuring,
It seems he hasn't. So, besides his foul mouth, his temper is quite good.
Lin Moyu stopped there and didn't say more. He didn't know if Choji had a good temper, but he was sure that Choji had a good temper when it came to Mu Xiaogu. He was just guessing, and it turned out to be true. At this moment, he felt Choji's grateful gaze. It was clear that Choji had heard what he said. Choji was a very smart person, often very meticulous. On the other hand, Mu Xiaogu was straightforward and carefree, a bold and forthright woman. Softness and boldness indeed matched well. Night fell, and a bright moon could be seen in the sky. This was a satellite of the star, looking like it wasn't naturally formed, with obvious signs of artificial creation. In human mythology, the moon holds significant importance and has extraordinary meaning. In reality, the moon's existence brings vitality to the star. Most life stars have moons. Even if they don't, the god sovereigns and god kings would modify them, which isn't difficult. Lin Moyu arrived at a grassland on the star, sat on the grass, and gazed at the starry sky. There was a starry sky here and also a galaxy very beautiful.
I haven't looked at the night sky like this for many years.
He remembered that in the small world, there were many nights when he would gaze at the starry sky, wondering what the great world was like. At that time, Ning Yi, Shu Han, Mu Qianqian, and Mo Yun would accompany him. They didn't need to talk. Just the feeling was something he liked. But now he could only look at it alone. After a long time, Lin Moyu started the task system in the Divine City for the first time. Unlike the task system in the 4 major star regions, it didn't require a task center or a task platform. It could be directly activated in the Human Emperor network. With a thought, a list appeared before his eyes, listing the tasks he could currently take. There weren't many tasks, only 8, covering only the nearby star systems. The tasks in the Divine City were restricted by star systems, realms, and danger levels. Some tasks required a minimum realm of the 8th level of the God King, which Lin Moyu couldn't take. Since he couldn't take them, he couldn't see them. Some tasks were very difficult, and to verify that you could take on high-difficulty tasks and not just go to your death, the Human Emperor Network would arrange some prerequisite tasks. Only after completing the prerequisite tasks could you take on subsequent tasks. Sometimes, after completing a task, new tasks would appear, indicating that the task just completed was a prerequisite for another task. Overall, the task system in the Divine City had become more rigorous. This also indicated that the task difficulty and danger had increased. Among the 8 tasks Lin Moyu could currently take, only one was a secret realm task. And only this task had the best rewards. The secret realm task could reward 10 points of Divine City merits, while ordinary tasks generally only rewarded 1 point of Divine City merit plus some points. These points could also be used to upgrade permission levels, so people who left the Divine City didn't have low permission levels. After taking the task, Lin Moyu received detailed information about it. Divine City Task. Explore the Poison Bee Secret Realm. Enter the Poison Bee Secret Realm and eliminate the Poison Bee Swarm. Restriction. Only God Kings of the 4th to 9th levels can enter. Completion condition. Obtain the corpse of the Poison Bee Queen. Task reward. 10 points of Divine City merits. No penalty for failure. Note: the Poison Bee Secret Realm has a large number of poison bees, with strengths ranging from the 3rd to 9th levels of the God King. Poison bees possess strong poison, so prepare antidote pills. Occasionally, a poison bee king may be born among the poison bees. If encountered, escape immediately. You can use Divine City merits to purchase escape talismans. If in danger, use the escape talisman to leave the secret realm. After entering the Great World, Lin Moyu had entered secret realms before. Whether it was the virtual secret realms created by the Human Emperor Network or the real-world secret realms, he had been in both. But judging from the task description alone, the danger level of the Poison Bee Secret Realm was higher. Moreover, this secret realm felt very much like a dungeon in the small world. After taking the task, a virtual map appeared before Lin Moyu's eyes. The map guided him to the location of the secret realm. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry to go. He took out the Jade token given by Choji. Activating the Jade token, he read the information inside. Choji had recorded his experiences in the secret realm in the Jade token. After entering the secret realm, Choji quickly encountered a swarm of poison bees. The swarm numbered about 1,000, with the weakest at the 3rd level of the God King and the strongest at the 5th level. With Choji's strength, dealing with them wasn't a problem. Indeed, Choji easily dealt with the poison bee swarm. He then encountered 2 more swarms in succession, but they were also easily dealt with. It was precisely because of this that he let his guard down. When he encountered the 5th swarm, Qiu discovered the poison bee nest. The poison bee queen was usually in the nest, and he thought the task wasn't difficult, so he boldly went in. In the nest, he encountered a large number of poison bees, but they weren't his match and didn't pose a threat to him. However, unknowingly, Qiu suddenly found himself poisoned, and his combat power began to decline. At that time, he still held a glimmer of hope. Although his combat power had decreased, it was still within an acceptable range. Later, he indeed found the poison bee queen. Just as he was about to kill it, the poison fully took effect. He lost his combat power in an instant and saw a giant poison bee next to the poison bee queen. This poison bee was huge, not smaller than the poison bee queen. It sprayed terrifying poison mist, almost killing him on the spot. In the last moment of losing consciousness, Qiu activated the escape talisman and escaped. After escaping, he took several days to recover. Truly a narrow escape from death. 1570. Chapter 1570. Walking further down the path of self-destruction. Lin Moyu put away the jade token. The information he obtained wasn't much, but it was somewhat useful. The task description already mentioned that the poison bee secret realm was highly toxic and required antidotes. The poison didn't necessarily need to be from an attack or a bite to take effect. The poison could enter the body in various ways and forms, even seeping into the soul. Many poisons were impossible to guard against. In the Divine City Star region, most secret realms were very dangerous. Qiu was well aware of this. He had made ample preparations before entering the secret realm. He had prepared several types of antidotes, but none of them worked. Before entering, Qiu had also tried his best to gather information about the secret realm, concluding that it was relatively safe. Given his realm, as long as he didn't have the bad luck to encounter the poison bee king, there wouldn't be much danger. But reality often doesn't go as planned.
The last giant poison bee Qiu saw, could it be the poison bee king? If he had encountered the poison bee king, he might not have had the chance to escape.
The task described the poison bee king as terrifying. Lin Moyu thought that if Qiu had indeed encountered the poison bee king while being poisoned, he might not have had the chance to escape.
I still need to see it with my own eyes. Based on the current information, this secret realm shouldn't affect me much. But the task is somewhat strange. Since it's about exploring the poison bee secret realm, one would naturally need to go to the end. Why is it that obtaining the corpse of the poison bee queen completes the task?
Based on his previous experience in the Small Worlds dungeons, Lin Moyu thought the poison bee king should be the final boss, while the poison bee queen was just a mid-level boss. Following the virtual map's guidance, Lin Moyu left the star and flew towards the secret realm. The secret realm was about 500 million kilometers away from star 12,998 to 1. Summoning the Lightspeed Lich, he transformed into a stream of light, flying at a speed of 150,000 kilometers per second. If all went well, he would reach the secret realm in about an hour. This speed surpassed all god kings and was even faster than some low-level god sovereigns. Only high-level god sovereigns could match Lin Moyu's speed. Of course, high-level god sovereigns often used treasures that allowed them to exceed the speed of light. The star quickly shrank behind him, turning into a small dot in an instant. The star also grew smaller as Lin Moyu flew towards the outer edge of the 12998 star system. The star's light gradually dimmed, and the starry sky became darker. Countless starlights flew from distant places, bringing faint illumination. Gradually, Lin Moyu saw many streams of light. Each stream of light represented a cultivator. Many cultivators were flying from different stars, all heading to the same destination. The closer they got to the secret realm, the more cultivators there were. The number of cultivators in the Divine City was indeed vast, far exceeding the 4 major star regions. This was the result of countless years of accumulation, incomparable to the 4 major star regions. Lin Moyu's speed far surpassed theirs, leaving them far behind.
How is this person flying so fast? What kind of secret technique is this? How can he fly so fast? This can't be the speed of a god king. This person must be a god sovereign.
Countless questions echoed in the starry sky. The cultivators communicated through soul transmission, all filled with surprise and doubt. Some tried to use their treasures to chase Lin Moyu but found they couldn't catch up, only able to watch him fly away.
A fourth-level God King. How can he fly so fast? His name is Lin Moyu. Why does that name sound familiar? Lin Moyu, isn't that the name of the first-place winner in the recent 4-star region competition? It must be a coincidence. No, I remember the first-place winner was also a fourth-level God King. Same name, same realm. Could it really be him? The first-place winner has come to the Divine City. This is big news. This is a true genius. I heard his real combat power rivals that of a god sovereign.
Lin Moyu was now very famous, and many people in the Divine City knew about him. The first-place winners of the 4-star region competition often rose quickly after entering the Divine City. They could break through to become god sovereigns in a very short time and then reach high-level god sovereign status within a few years, establishing families and sects, becoming rulers of star systems. In their eyes, Lin Moyu could do the same and even more terrifyingly so. After all, Lin Moyu was only a 4th-level god king but already had such exaggerated combat power. His future was limitless. Lin Moyu gradually approached the secret realm and finally saw its full appearance. It was a ball of light, and according to the map, this ball of light was the entrance to the secret realm. Within the ball of light, there seemed to be a vortex. Lin Moyu's heart trembled, and he almost blurted out,
"Dungeon!"
It was indeed very similar to the dungeons in the small world. If the small world's dungeons were modeled after these secret realms, Lin Moyu wouldn't doubt it. A pile of mysteries arose in his mind. He deeply realized that his small world hid secrets of astonishing magnitude. With his current knowledge, he couldn't fully understand it. As he got closer, a vast aura hit him. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. This aura was not unfamiliar to him.
This is an ancient aura.
He felt the ancient aura at the entrance of the secret realm, but it seemed different from the aura of the mysterious manor. After carefully sensing it, Lin Moyu identified the source of the aura. It was the same as the severed finger outside the Divine City Star region. The two auras were identical. The secret realm was part of that severed finger. Lin Moyu quickly imagined a scene from ancient times. A terrifying being fought on the battlefield, leaving a severed finger here. The finger was so large and powerful that it didn't perish after being severed. It even changed the rules, becoming a terrifying relic. Threads of energy from the severed finger eventually formed various secret realms, each with its own unique rules and restrictions. With Lin Moyu's powerful imagination, the origin of the secret realm appeared, forming a logical loop. He could imagine this because he had experienced many things related to ancient times. He had seen ancient tombs and entered the destroyed world of Tulu. These experiences brought him valuable knowledge and insights. Lin Moyu didn't know if his thoughts were correct, but he felt they weren't far off.
Those terrifying beings can be reborn from a drop of blood. Every part of their body contains a soul and ancient memories. If that's the case, could there be ancient auras in the deepest part of the secret realm? If the secret realm is part of a powerful being's body, could I use resurrection on it?
Thinking of this, Lin Moyu shivered, feeling he was walking further down the path of self-destruction. He had already courted death once in the Tulu world and almost died. Between life and death, there is not only great terror but also great opportunity. The trip to the Tulu world had elevated his soul to the other shore realm, an unimaginable opportunity. This time, in the secret realm, Lin Moyu thought for a moment but didn't dare to act rashly. The beings in the Tulu world were at the other shore realm before they died. Although the other shore realm was powerful, it wasn't unattainable. But the being before him, if resurrected, who knew what realm it would be? Higher than the other shore realm or several levels higher. Such an unimaginable existence was terrifying to think about. A single thought from it could kill him.
I can't court death.
Erasing unrealistic thoughts, Lin Moyu stopped at the entrance of the secret realm. 1571, 1571.